Kohalayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Bakar Kodash. I want to give double honors to those apostle great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. My name is Lamadia, and the name of this video is going to be entitled, How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? And that is a reference to Jeremiah 50 and 23. And Esau via America has been the hammer of the earth. And what's going to happen is the Most High going to break Esau power structure apart. And that's what we seeing now on the news, that the Lord's going to push America into this battle. And it's going to start off in the Middle East, but it's going to escalate to a nuclear war, which is going to lead to America's destruction. So now, what I want to do is play this video. This is from General Wesley Clark. The title, I'll read the title. General Wesley Clark reveals 2001 plan to attack Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. And by the way, you see this video is a minute and 44 seconds, 144, the spiritual. So that 144 is an omen that, you know, Israel, the elect is about to come in power soon. So let me go ahead and play this.
9/11. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you gotta come in. You gotta come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail."
Let me play that again.
But we got a good military and we can take down governments.
We got a good military, we can take down governments.
The only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail.
When the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem will look like a nail.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk and picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense office today." And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me."
Okay, there you have it. So then you had U.S. attack on Iranian city Tehran, I believe. Let me just play it. And the name of the operation, as you see here, Operation Midnight Hammer. Let's see. Let me try something else. Bear with me. Trying to find something straight to the point. Look, I'll just pick this one. Let that play.
All right, well, the United States successfully attacked 3 Iranian nuclear sites last night, including the Fordow facility, which was Iran's last untouched nuclear base buried deep underground and required the U.S. to use bunker buster bombs. These bombs were also used on the Natanz nuclear site. Meanwhile, U.S. submarines fired over 2 dozen Tomahawk missiles at the Isfahan nuclear site, as well
So there's the cities there.
the Natanz site. Joey Jones is here to break down why this mission was such a success and what might happen next. Over to you, Joey.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to get through these first few screens. Then I'm going to nerd out on the bomb real quick. So this is kind of a schematic of what happened. The red here shows you where the Tomahawks came in from. The blue shows you the egress, the coming in and the coming out of the plane. So let's go ahead and move forward and talk a little bit about the mission. 7,085 miles from Missouri straight to Iran. We don't know they went straight there, but pretty much. You see here it says it'll go about 6,900 miles before refueling. That's without 60,000 pounds of a bomb strapped to its belly. So it refueled multiple times along the way. I don't know exactly where, but to do an air refueling at night with a stealth bomber, man, just so impressive. So let's get to the bomb itself. We've heard a lot about it. I'm going to tell you probably a little bit more than I should, but that's okay. So what happens here is from here to here, about, well, maybe down here, this is your penetrator. What happens here is you have 2 different types of explosives. So you've got, and these are plastic, polymer explosives. So what they are, they're not very sensitive at all. So you have 2 different types of explosives, and it's wrapped and coated in 30,000 or, well, 25,000 pounds of steel, because there's only about 5,500 pounds of explosives in here. What you have up here is your guidance unit. So all of the guidance happens up here. This is where your electronics are. This is what's stabilizing it and causing it to go on course. So what happens is when this cone hits, it causes a chain reaction through multiple fuses. So that impact inertia is what we call it. You have different motions like setback, up when your car.
That's all we need from that. We got the Operation Midnight Hammer, and America's in midnight or heading towards midnight. And that's going to be the end of this place. So let's read Jeremiah 50:23. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nation? Now, this Babylon is not referencing to the ancient Neo-Babylon. It's referencing to daughter Babylon, which daughter Babylon is America. Verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord. Because now keep in mind, America was built up by the blood of the tribes, the so-called Native American Indians, the Seminole Indians, the so-called Negroes, and all of the Latin tribes. You name it. That's how America was built. And America have to pay for that. The Most High going to inquire of that blood that was spilled in this land. And I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. And that's what happened. The Most High sent up these traps for Esau, and says, thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation. Now, what's the weapons of the Most High's indignation? Is the missiles. Now, the word indignation means provoke anger, meaning The Most High anger is justified because it was provoked for what he's about to do. For this is the work of the Lord, of the Most High of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Now the Chaldeans was renowned for their wisdom and associated with Babylon. Now it says, come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. That's talking about the nuclear destruction. Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for the day is come in the time of their visitation. So America is approaching that great day. And whether America want to get involved or not, and Most High is going to push America to get involved. And I have the video up here too, where Trump was upset of Israel violating that ceasefire. So let's play it.
I don't think so, but I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed Stargate. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. It's ridiculous. I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that Israel either. Both sides not to violate the ceasefire, but reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't bring people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it. Okay?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so America's gonna get dragged into this war. That's it. And it's gonna lead to America's demise. Why? Because the Most High says so. Now let's go to the book of Habakkuk. I want to read it first in the KJV, and then I want to read it in the NLT. So let's go to Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Verse 13. Now, what's the vision? The events that's going to take place in the near future, such as the MOTB, the nuclear destruction soon to come, was all comprised of Jacob's trouble. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Now let's read in the NLT, Habakkuk 2 and 2. I'll just go straight to the point. Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that the runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. So what's about to come is not going to be delayed. It's gonna happen real soon. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. Because America's guilty of this. and it says, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil you, thou shalt be spoiled. Yeah, because that's a time that's coming when they make these ceasefires, it's going to be violated, and America is going to be destroyed. When America look for peace, it's not going to receive peace. Thou should be spoiled, and when thou should make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And that's the time we're approaching. Now let's go to Isaiah 9. Bear with me. 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this should be with burning and fuel of fire. Now, who's speaking? This is the prophet Isaiah. So now when Isaiah is saying this, Isaiah is seeing the end times in the vision. So he writes it down, and he said, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So he describing war, the conventional war within his time. But what he's seen in the vision was a war to come that was not going to be the conventional war of his day, which is the nuclear missiles. Let me go back. That's why he said, but this should be with burning and fuel of fire. He said, but this, because he make a distinguish with the war to come, or the destruction to come from the war, compared to the conventional war of his day. And he wrote about it. And he goes on to say that Yahweh Shah is gonna come deliver the elect and set up David, the king, and the kingdom. Now let's look at, I typed in on Google search engine, what was warfare like in ancient times? Ancient warfare was characterized by mass infantry, author fighting, and discipline formation, like the Greek phalanx, with hand-to-hand combat being decisive factor in battle. While initially armies relied on basic weaponry like spears and bows, technological advancement led to the inclusion of chariots, cavalry, eventually early forms of artillery, altering battlefield dynamics. So that's how wars was fought in ancient time, and the war to come that's gonna end all wars is gonna be a nuclear war. And Isaiah, he's seen it in the vision, and he wrote about it multiple times. Now, I'll close it with this. Now, this is Isaiah describing the impact of the nuclear missiles. Isaiah 24:19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. Why is the earth going to move exceedingly? Because the impact of the missiles that are going to be launched from different parts of the earth, mostly America, is going to cause the earth to rock and shake. The earth should roll to and fro like a drunken. So like you see a drunkard that's unstable, when he's drunk, that's how America is going, not America, that's how the earth is going to shake. And it says, and it should be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof should be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So that's pretty much it. So I'll close with that, and I'm going to say Kohalayim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wakar Kodash. Till next time, Shalom.